So for my project, I decided to talk about Unity's animation controller. So the animation controller in Unity is actually represented by a graph, but is technically a finite state machine, although they can sort of be interchanged in the situation. I would say behind the scenes, it's technically less structured like a graph, and wouldn't really function well with graph algorithms, but it's obviously represented by a graph in the editor. So this is what it looks like in the editor, and what essentially are the nodes in the graph is each animation, and it would be a directed unweighted graph because the states can change in a certain direction, which is the directed part of the graph. So finite state machines versus graphs. So there is not really much of a difference. Essentially, a finite state machine is just a graphical representation of a directed graph. And then behind the scenes, you wouldn't really build out a full graph data structure to use a finite state machine. You'd basically just define the states and then how they transition into other states. But when you represent it on a piece of paper or draw it out, it is a graph. And then, like this says, the states and transitions of a state machine can be represented using a graph diagram where the nodes represent the states and the arcs, or the arrows between the nodes, represent the transitions. You can think of the current state as being a marker or highlight that is placed on one of the nodes and then can only jump to another node along one of the arrows. So how does it work? So in Unity, the basic way you do it is you have an animation state, and then from that animation state you have transitions, which would be your edges, your directed edges, to other nodes or other states in the animations. And when you want to transition, you can call that, and it'll allow you to transition smoothly into the other animations. Essentially, this graph system allows you to build out smooth animation states and transition smoothly between them. And that's about it.